Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second session of this series. So, last time, basically, what we discussed was we basically looked at what is Python, right? So, and a brief overview of Python and brief overview of of the programming language. So, after that, we also basically discussed what is Jupyter Notebook, right? So, Jupyter is basically this environment where we operate out of, and we also saw how easy it is to launch a Jupyter Notebook, right? So, you just need to open either your CMD if you are working in a Windows environment, or from a terminal if you are working in a Linux or in a Mac. So you just need to type in Jupyter Notebook, right? So it immediately opens a window like this on your browser, right? So how Jupyter basically works is it basically has kernels in its backend. This is nothing but a simple web app. Right, in kernels, we have different languages which can be run. So you can basically run either Python commands. You can either choose a Python kernel wherein you'll be able to run Python commands. So you can choose to run a R kernel wherein you'll be able to run R commands. Obviously, there are support for other kernels as well. But from a data science point of view, these are the only ones which are which you'll be using a lot. So running commands inside Jupyter Notebook is very straightforward. Either you can choose to run commands using your keyboard shortcuts, right? Either you can use Control Enter or Shift Enter to run commands, uh, or you can just choose to run commands using the options available in the toolbar. You see this run element over here, right? So this run element basically executes the whatever code you've written in this particular block of cell. So there are other options as well. So wherein you can either create new cells or you can merge cells. So there's a whole lot of other options. I think we'll discuss these as and when we'll have a need for this. Now, for now, we'll come back to Python. So the next topic, or more the first topic where we'll discuss about operators. So operators in Python. Right. And what basically operators are, it's basically, as the name suggests, it basically operates either on a value or on a variable. So what basically is a variable in Python is, say, Python has different data types. So a value in which you store it, right? So if I consider this as a string data type, right? I just use a string as a data type. Over here, A is the variable. So you're basically storing this value of string in the letter A. So A over here is a variable. So what basically an operator is, either it operates on the value or it can operate on the variable itself. So basically, it is nothing but a symbol, right? It's a symbol basically which operates either on a value or on a variable. So there are different types of operators in Python. The standard ones are something which is called as arithmetic operators. Then you have something called as bitwise operators. Then you have something called as assignment operators. Then you have comparison operators. Then I think the final one, so this is the one which I think you'll be using it a lot. Obviously, you'll be using the first four ones also, but uh, in terms of frequency of usage, the last one, identity and membership operators, you'll be using it a whole lot more commonly. Right. So, and one more keyboard shortcut in Jupyter, right? So you're in this particular cell and you want to move to a new cell or shift to a new cell. So how do you basically go to a new cell? Obviously, the one straightforward one is go to this particular button and click on it. So you will get a new cell. But the more easier keyboard shortcut is you just basically press escape. So what basically escape does is escapes goes into this command mode. So from wherein after whenever you click on B, the cell B, you get a new cell. So after that, you press enter, you basically get the cursor, right? So that basically is a keyboard shortcut for moving to a new cell or creating a new cell. Coming back to your operators, so these are the five standard ones: arithmetic, you have bitwise, then your assignment, then you have comparison, identity membership operator. So this one is nothing new. I think most of these operators has been there even in your standard Max. So you have been seeing this along. I think you have been learning about this since a long time. But just to give you a few examples for each of this. So coming to arithmetic operators, right? So arithmetic, it's your normal standard arithmetic operators. You can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Either you can run a modular operator, you can run an integer operator as well. Then there is something called as exponential operators. all very standard ones. Just to give you a few examples. So this is an example for an arithmetic operation. So you get the output there only. Then you have for subtraction, you just replace the plus with a minus. Then your multiplication, just replace the plus with a, you just replace a plus with a multiplication symbol, you get a multiplication operator. Division is also in a very similar manner, right? So you just replace star with a division symbol, which is nothing but a slash. Slash basically is a division symbol. Next, the one I think which might not be, you won't be using it that much, is something that's called as modulo operator. Modulo operator basically will give you the remainder. It is very similar to a division. It is very similar to a division, but the only difference is the output will be more of the remainder which is left, wherein you just divide 4 by 7, the remainder is 3, right? So that's what modulo operator does for you. The next one is exponential operator. I think exponential operator basically just take the power, right? So it's like 8 square. What's the output of 8 square? 64. So arithmetic operators are sort of very standard ones. I think there's nothing new or nothing complex over here, right? It's the standard ones. So next, I think we'll move on to bitwise operators. So bitwise operators basically is used to work bits, right? So whatever operators you have seen, you're just directly working on the number 10, maybe 12. These are base 10 numbers, right? So, but what basically bitwise operators are, you basically work on the bits, the ones and zeros, right? So that's where you work on. So there are different bitwise operators like and, or, then minus is also there. So there are a whole lot of different bitwise operators. You won't be using much of bitwise operators, right? So coming to next is assignment operators. Assignment operators, there are different assignment operators. One is equal to, right? Is equal to basically means this one, right? This is one case where we just saw an application of an assignment operator. You're just equating whatever value you have on the right hand side, right? You are equating that to a variable called a. So this is one assignment operator. Then the other assignment operator basically is something like this. So what basically an plus and equal to is basically maybe I think we'll explain this. We'll discuss this with an example. I think that should make things clearer. So when I say a is equal to, right, I just give it an initial value, a is equal to 3. Then basically I run this, a is equal to 2. So basically what would happen over here is, so this is nothing but, okay, it's not printed. Yeah, now we get 5. So a plus is equal to 2. So this is nothing but a is equal to a plus, right? So this is nothing but this. So instead of plus, you can easily replace with a minus or star, and you can replace with any other arithmetic operators. The result would be the same, right? Result as in, obviously this would change depending on whatever you input over here. This one will change, right? Yeah, so these are the different assignment operators. Comparison operators, I think very standard ones. You have lesser than, so you after lesser than you have greater than, then you have lesser than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So all the very standard operators, whichever is available. So that's also available in Python as well. Next assignment operator is basically equal to. So what basically equal to basically means, say when I say is equal to 2, then I say b is equal to 3, right? Is equal to basically checks whether a is equal to b. It's false, right? So now when I use it for this, I say string, right? So when I say b is also string, now when I check this one ideally should be a true. So this is true, right? So these are the different assignment operators. Then you have something called as Boolean operators, right? So what are basically Boolean operators are your whatever output you get as true or false, right? So all of that. So it's basically used to compare your true or false. So it's like just an example. So when I say true and false, so it's a false. So instead of and, I replace and with a Boolean or, right? So So in Python, this is a standard keyword. So in Python, there's something which is called as keywords. Keywords are basically few words which are already built in. So you just need to follow that standard format. So your true is always supposed to start. The T is supposed to be a capital letter. Similarly, false is. All of these are keywords. So different Boolean operators. So basically, Boolean operators are used to work on mainly either your true or your false. So what we discussed until now was we discussed and, we discussed or, we also discussed not. So these are like three standard Boolean operators. So the next is identity and membership operators. I think as the name would suggest, right? So identity and membership. So identity basically is you use to check if whatever objects you're comparing, right, refers to the same location in memory. So basically what that means is, so when I say a is equal to maybe a 3 or b is equal to some number, right? Now when I say a is b, basically what you're trying to check is basically trying to check if a and b are referring to the same value, right? Now in this particular case, a is not b. Here the output would be true. Why the output would be true basically is they are referring to different memory locations, right? So when I say a is equal to b, it's basically checking if the memory location of this is equal to the memory location of this, which obviously is not right, right? When I say so again, for identity and membership operators, again there are a couple of operators which I think you would have seen by now. One is is, and the other one is not. So these are the two ones which will be using it with identity and membership operators. Now membership, so this is all of these are identity. Basically identity operators check if you're looking at a particular location memory. You're looking at a particular location memory and you're trying to check if the value is right or not. Okay, so those are identity operators. What a membership operators is, basically you're trying to check for particular element is available in any data structure or not. So what are data structures? Basically, we will cover data structures maybe a bit later on. But for now, just for an example, say you have a variable which is called as, say, Python. Right? Now we are just trying to check if few letters are there in this particular variable. Say you're trying to check if on, right? On in var, right? So when you just check this, you're obviously going to get true because you have on. When you replace on with oh, right, you get a false because it's not there. So for membership, so usually the common operators which are used in membership are one is in, right, not in. So these are the two ones which are, these are two operators which are commonly used. Maybe we can discuss this in a bit more detail when we cover data structures, right? So there are different data structures in Python. There are different standard data structures in Python. So basically what we'll do basically is we can maybe check, so if this particular element is there and whether this particular element is available in this particular data structure or not, right? So in these kind of use cases, this particular operator is useful. So this more or less covers at least an initial introduction to operators. So I think we'll again meet again in the next session, where we'll basically discuss different data types in Python, different data types as well as different data types and the different examples. Thank you.